Good morning, everyone. I'm on here a lot earlier than I usually am, but I've got some things to do today. So I thought that we would go ahead and talk about the third part of the artist flight path. So I've got links here. One is for the artist flight path, which we've been talking about for the past 2 days. This is the third day. Tomorrow we're going to finish this up, but today's level, you can go back and watch the previous videos over on my Facebook page, and it's also on my YouTube channel. But we talked about this pathway that I've taken myself as an artist and gone from step-by-step lessons to trying everything and every idea possible, every medium possible. That was the sparrow stage yesterday. Today we're on the hummingbird stage, and this is where things get a little bit challenging, but in the best kind of way. So if you've been at a stage where you've been trying different mediums, different styles, different tools, different subjects, and you kind of feel like you sort of like everything and you don't really know what to do now, this is kind of what I would call the hummingbird stage. So at this stage, you're kind of tired of trying all the things, and you're a little bit confused, or maybe not even really confused, but overwhelmed by all of the things that you could do. And you need help with really honing in and finding your thing. What is your style is what most of us call it. So the hummingbird phase is about finding your style. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you just the things that we've already done. So we've already painted 2 swans, and I'm not going to paint the same swan again. It's going to get a little boring, but I'm going to show you some things that I think will be kind of like aha moments for you. I hope it will anyway. And I'm still drinking my coffee, so I may have to just take a sip every once in a while just to keep up with. I'm not really a morning person. Are you? Are you an early morning person? I mean, it's not early, but it's early for me to be doing this. Kellen says, I am still feeling like this. I thought I had found my voice and style, and I feel lost again. And that happens. Sometimes we kind of go in phases, or I don't want to call it circles, but sometimes we get to a point where we think we've found something that we really enjoy, and then it's not so enjoyable anymore, and so we start looking for something else. And that is totally normal and part of the whole process, because as artists, we don't ever stop learning and trying things. We never really get 100% out of that sparrow stage, where that curiosity should always be there. You're always going to be learning. But this phase that I'm going to talk about today is a little bit more, it's a little more refined, and it helps you just kind of get rid of some of the clutter that's probably in your head when you're trying to create something. So I'll talk about it a little bit more. But first of all, let's just look at the swans that I've shown you so far. This was the first one that I showed you. This was one that I did that we've used kind of as our example for inspiration. And I really like this one. It's been hanging up in here in my studio on my inspiration board for a while. And I really like the colors, and I like the softness of the whites in the bird itself. Okay, so we used that, and then on day 1 of this little series, we painted this step by step. And I'm using myself personally in this example. I don't necessarily like this one as much as I like this one, and I can tell you why. I don't like the blue underneath here very much. I don't like this yellow that's showing through so much here. I feel like it needs to be refined a little bit more or loosened up a little bit more. I feel like it's somewhere in between, too refined and not loose enough. So that was the first one we did. For this one, yesterday I like this one a whole lot better than either of those other two. And I told you when I started painting these flowers yesterday that I was kind of moving a little bit faster than I should have into today, where I am adding things besides just the swan to make it more me. I don't know why it keeps doing that. The lighting is not so great. I'll get on this side. So this one I like much better than this one because it has elements in there that are part of who I am, part of my style, part of things that I really like. But I'm going to show you one that I like even better than this one. And one reason why I don't necessarily like this one is this pink in the bird. And his head's a little bit weird. But as far as the colors go and the composition of it, I do like those things. Now, I'm going to show you one that if you do join my creative community, you're going to have the full tutorial on this swan. This one is my very favorite. And I'm going to explain why. This one is totally me, my style, what I like. And it is number one, loose. See how loose all these flowers are? Number two, the colors are muted. They're not so in your face, bright, bold. They're also not too dark, but there is enough contrast and value that you can have some definition and some movement there, and I really like that. This one is a tutorial from a few months ago. It's in the creative community. If you're a member, Peggy and Kellen, I know I saw you here, then we've done this before. And I really like this up here where it looks really soft. So in comparison to this one, I prefer this one. You may prefer this one, or you may like this one, or this may be something that you like even better. And none of those are wrong. So finding your way of doing things it's really just a matter of eliminating things that you don't like and doing more of the things that you do like. And it's not, at this stage, it's not necessarily about doing everything. And that's kind of what the sparrow stage is. You're just trying everything and just trying to see what you do like. This stage is more about what subjects do you like? What colors do you like? What do you want to do less of? And putting those things together to create things that you really love. And when you're doing something that when you're painting it, like yesterday, you go back and watch this video. When I was painting this, I said, I'm going to add these flowers because flowers just always make everything better. I like flowers that much. I'm going to put them in just about all the paintings that I do. I've started adding them to my landscapes more too, because that's just part of what makes me happy when I'm painting. And I think sometimes we get so caught up in all of the what am I supposed to do, what am I not supposed to do, what is right, what is wrong, that we forget this is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be enjoyable, and it's supposed to be something that you personally like to do. So if you don't like painting dark, moody backgrounds, then don't. If you would rather add lots of flowers to your paintings and make them a little more feminine, then do that. If painting things that are more simplified or taking away some of the details and making it looser. If that is something that appeals to you, then go for it. And in the membership, we have a whole course that helps you with your style. We have several workshops about style. We do just our regular tutorials, like when we did this one. I'm going to give those of you who are at this level some ideas. So at the bottom, when I post a video with a tutorial, at the bottom of just about every one, unless it just applies to everybody, I give each level in the artist flight path some suggestions. Like I would say for this one, if you are a parrot, then just follow me step by step and enjoy the process. If you're a sparrow, maybe you could try this with a palette knife, or see what happens if you do this in a different color palette. And I give you suggestions for things to try. So for the hummingbird level, I might say, does this shabby chic look appeal to you in any way? What parts of it do you like? What parts do you not like? And how could you change this to create something that is totally you? And then tomorrow we're going to talk about the bluebird level. It's going to be our last video in this little series. And if you're interested in the membership, the link is here. Also, if you're interested in just seeing more about these different levels, you don't have to join the membership to get the download. I have a little, it's kind of like a little PDF quiz workbook type thing that will help you to kind of see where you are and give you some suggestions for what you could do to help you at whatever stage you're in right now. So I hope this was helpful. I will see you guys back here sometime tomorrow. And don't forget, the membership closes tomorrow night at midnight. Thanks for being here. Bye.